Custom Zombies is a gift and a curse. It produces some of the most high quality maps we have ever seen, and it also produces some of the most abysmal maps that I don't even know how people think of. But there is a series of maps that actually intrigued my interest, and this is the fast food gauntlet series of maps. Burger King, KFC, IHOP, and McDonald's. I don't know how IHOP is technically fast food, but we're gonna sort that to the side. Not only do these maps have Easter eggs to them, they are all inside of one storyline. So I thought it'd be fun to beat all of these Easter eggs in order, because honestly, why not? They're fun. Anyways, let's get right into the video. Starting us off on Burger King. This is the first map in the 4 maps that we have to play, and this Easter egg is actually really simple. Realistically, it's only like 4 main steps, but it has a couple of other subcategories. So for the first couple rounds, I just sat in the spawn room just to get some points up using my golden glizzy. I'm sorry, I don't know what that was. And just for saying that statement, we gotta take the down. Ignore the username. I don't know what's going on. But after that little mishap, we grabbed a shield part. We cleaned our hands in the sink because we're stinky, I guess. I don't know the lore. And I also grabbed a Kuda because the golden glizzy, unfortunately, is not that great of a starting pistol. But then I sat in the cafeteria a little bit so I could get my points up, and then we had to go behind the register and take an order. And then we had to get a Whopper. Oh god. Please. No. Don't play it. Next up, we delivered it to the bus, and then we opened up into the store. From here, we needed to make our way to the back so we could actually fill up a soul box. We also had to deal with a cracked out Brutus that had way more health than normal, so that was fun. Next up, after finishing the soul box, we went over into the front of Burger King and started filling up the other soul box. And then after that, we made our way into Taco Bell, and this is where the power is. So we went ahead and turned on power and grabbed Jug. Then we also had to go over to this computer on the desk here and hack it. And I spent the rest of the round filling up the soul box in the street. And then we went into the hotel, which is actually just the back rooms. I don't know how the back rooms got here, but they're here. Then I needed to find a code in here, so my code number was 1. And then I made my way into the manager's office. Ooh. And ended up picking up a key card, which will be useful later. Over here, there was also a computer that we needed to hack, and there is also a soul box here as well. We also needed to go through the crackhead door, and this brings us up to the 3rd level. To be 100% honest with you, I have no idea why I even opened it, because there was nothing for me in there. So your boy got scammed, which is whatever. And then I actually noticed there was this alleyway that I never went down, and it had another door for me to open, and sure enough, there was also another soul box here as well. And using that key card we found earlier, we can unlock this door. And besides making lean and grabbing a pack-a-punch piece, I'm still not sure what was even back here, to be 100% honest. So I just spent my time filling up the soul box. And then making my way back to Burger King, we were actually able to unlock the door there, and then we could make our way onto the roof. Now this is where we actually build Pack-a-Punch, but I didn't find all the pieces, so kinda didn't Pack-a-Punch. But our final soul box was up here, so we needed to get that done. And just like your mom's legs, a door opened. Making our way into this magical room, the Ragnaroks are here. So we were able to buy the Ragnaroks, which is a cool little side Easter egg. But then also our final computer is here. So now boom, we've hacked all 3 computers, and now we are on to the 2nd step of the Easter egg. Yeah, all of that was step 1. Next up, we had to make our way through a maze, and we had to find children to feed with zombie souls. Is there a better way to put that? But for this step, you're supposed to complete 5 soul boxes, and then it opens a door to give you a number. But since I already knew which numbers there were, I was able just to brute force my way into finding the code. Now, I still ended up having to complete the soul boxes because there is a invisible barrier that won't let you go into the room until you actually solve all the codes. So if you are playing this map, just be aware of that. Just do the 5 souls because you have to. Anyways, now once in this room, there is actually a gun on the ground. It is the Burger Kinginator Mark II, and it's just a insanely powerful death machine, which probably would have been a lot better if I pack-a-punched it, but I didn't pack-a-punch. Making our way into this room, we can divert power. Where this power goes or comes from, I don't know. There is a door here, so that wasn't there before. We open the door, and there's this fucking mad scientist lab, and then we form a rift by starting up the rift process using that diverted power we just made. And then yeah, we just completed the main Easter egg, but we're not done. We need to get 75,000 points to finish the map, which I'm not gonna lie was really easy because I didn't pack a punch, so all my guns were weak. But yeah, boom, Burger King is completed. On to KFC. I have never even ate at a KFC, so this is my like only experience being inside a KFC is this map. So if this is lore accurate with Nikocado avocado on the wall, I think it might be. But our first step for corn-fed chicken, corn-fed cock, Kentucky Fried Cock. The first step of KFC is to turn on the power. Shocker, I know. Gangster combo meal. Can someone confirm if this is lore accurate KFC chicken? It looks so yummy. But while I was making my way to power, which took me like an hour to find, I was filling up soul boxes because again, we got to fill up soul boxes for this map. There's only 4 of them this time, not 5. So we're kind of slowly trimming them down. But then we took some roids, brah, because we're so naughty. Yeah, buddy. What the fuck am I doing? After figuring out how fork in the roads work, I found power. I used all 3 of my brain cells to figure that one out. Believe it or not. It's hard to believe I even have that many, but yeah. But then guess what, buddy? We got to work a 9 to 5 in a zombies game. What you know about that? But this is all timing based, so we have to wait for that pop-up right there saying there's a customer to even progress this. But we don't have flow, so it's kind of hard to progress. But we make our way up to the counter and we take this customer's order, who isn't really sure of what he wants. He's very undecisive. And he wants some chicken. So then we have to go back into the kitchen and cook some chicken, which is kind of a tight squeeze when there's zombies in the round. We also have no care in the world for salmonella poisoning. I don't know why, but we just grab raw chicken with our bare hands. Once the chicken's done, we just go up to him and we give him his food. Not only does he pay us, we gotta wait for another customer. While waiting, I decided to fill up another soul box, but this one is in the cemetery, which is kind of messed up if you think about it. But once that's done, we can now make our way into the manager's only room where there's a dead guy on the floor. Fun fact, that's actually what you look like after you have KFC chicken. But going through here, we can actually link the pad to Pack-a-Punch here. And we need to get promoted to a manager so we can progress this Easter egg. So all we have to do is just wait for another customer or 2 to show up. I also found this little shit in the cemetery. There was also these like ritual balls that you had to shoot. There was one right outside KFC, one behind a couple trucks, and then that final one just kind of tucked away in the corner. And then we get the absolute ass blaster of a gun. This thing is ridiculously powerful. It is so goddamn good. After waiting a little bit, there was finally a customer. But before we did that, I went and teleported because I wanted to pack a punch. And I decided to pack a punch the death machine, which, oh, definitely the right choice. And then our customer wanted a really strange meal, a raw human corpse, which is just normally what I eat on a Wednesday. Luckily, there was a dead guy just chilling on the ground, so we picked him up and delivered it to the customer. What he's doing with that corpse, I don't want to know. But we got promoted to manager, so who really gives a shit? Next up, we got to talk to our boss, who unfortunately got some 115 laced chicken nuggets. Rest easy, my brother. But he tells us that we need to grab a key card, and the only way to get this key card is by going to the last manager. So we need to grab a shovel, which is coincidentally right next to Call of Duty Vanguard, and then we have to go to the KFC marked grave and dig him up. On his body is the key card, so we're gonna go ahead and grab that. After opening this orange door, we can now activate the metal gate, but once that gate opens, the other gate doesn't have power. So we need to now figure out how to divert power once again. So we need to teleport to Pack-a-Punch, and yeah, the commando has a very unfortunate Pack-a-Punch name. I didn't know Dr. Disrespect was in COD. Anyways, once we divert the power, we gotta wait to get teleported back. Once we're teleported back, we can go ahead and open up that door, but then we need to get 10,000 points. But I went on a little side quest, collecting Mario and Luigi's kind of just scattered about. But there's actually a weapon here, Bowser Eliminator 5000, and it's just a really powerful deagle. So I'm actually really glad that I picked this up because this thing is really good. Next, making our way through the door. Now we're in the depths of Gen Z hell, and there's another door here, and then after this door we gotta go ahead and steal the secret recipe. But unfortunately the Colonel is watching, and all this boss fight is just a ton of panzers. It really wasn't that hard. If you have PhD, you're basically invincible because their explosions can't hurt you, their fire can't hurt you. So basically it's just waiting until the boss fight's over. And especially with this death machine, it was just a cakewalk. Eventually, the Colonel gives up and lets us escape, but only if we beat Ronald McDonald. And the viable ending is now available in the parking lot. After paying a small fee of 75,000 points, we eventually beat KFC, and now we go on to IHOP. Now, IHOP is where things really just start to get absolutely batshit insane. There was so much to do on this map that my little squirrel ADHD brain could barely keep up. But the first step we need to do is actually get Pack-a-Punch open, which is actually pretty simple, but we need a lot of points just to get through the entire map. So the first couple rounds I honestly just spent trying to get as many points as I could. Luckily the Diamatti is actually very good for this since it's a pretty weak gun. After unlocking gold camo by getting so many kills within an IHOP, we finally made our way outside and we hit the first panel. Fun fact, Brutus is also like ridiculously fast on this version. Don't know why, but he's literally Barry Allen. The dude just a million miles an hour. But our next step is we need to get some money, so we're gonna grab the chili and we're gonna deliver it to this guy. I don't know how he's eating chili with his feet. I don't know if he's eating it with his ass in the air. I don't know what's going on. He might be butt chugging chili, but that doesn't sound fun in my opinion. So we kept giving this guy chili and he kept eating it. Eventually gave us enough money to buy a vending machine. Butt chugging chili to a vending machine, I think that genuinely sounds like an upgrade. What's nice about this vending machine is that it actually gives us passive income. So unlike the chili where I keep having to deliver it, this will just make me money in the background, which is super nice. But also with these like upgrades and stuff you can get, you can also upgrade the machine. So while the thing's making you more money in the background, you can upgrade these machines and they'll keep giving you more money. Next up, we got to turn on power. So went ahead and did that. Pretty simple. Another way to make money on this map is by streaming. So this will give me $10 for the first time I stream, the second time 20, third time 30, and so on. And then Brutus decided it'd be cool to, well, resize my fucking holes. After that fun time, we make our way into the shoe store and there's another access panel for us to turn off. And then in the cabin in the woods, there's also another one. Then the final one is right next to Chili Boy. And then we can call in an airstrike, which will eventually get rid of the debris for the jump pad, and that allows us to get on top of the IHOP roof. Next, using our telekinesis, we can go ahead and hack the employee room door and pick up a key card. And then we can actually open this door in the very back. Then there's a door that we can't open quite yet. And then there's a guy on the ground, which allows us to go to Mexico and go see Walter. But in this little vent, there was also a bomb on the roof. And then after filling up all 5 soul boxes, we can now get the Ragnaroks, which is pretty cool. But then we committed arson and blew up a fucking door. And then we can turn on the machine, but now we need to find 3 fuses. One of the fuses is where we found the key card originally. When you grab one of these fuses, it actually spawns a Brutus, but the Ragnaroks take him out in one shot. There was another fuse in the Ragnaroks room, but now we gotta go to Mexico. And here we can find a fuse in the back corner, and that is all 3 fuses now found. I'm so good at it. I'm honestly like Indiana Jones, bro. Like I'm just the GOAT. After here, we can put the fuses back into the machine. Now instead of buying stuff that actually helps me, I bought some shoes. They make me faster, but it really wasn't that necessary. Oh, I also bought a SpongeBob gun. It was $700, but worth it. Next up, we interact with the panel once again, and after waiting for the rift to spawn in, Easter egg is done. Now we just need 75,000 to escape the map. Luckily, the next map actually does not have a viable ending. It is a full-on boss fight, which is pretty sick. But after spending way too much time on this map, we eventually got our 75,000, and now we are off to Mickey D's, McDick's, McDonald's, whatever you call it, we're off to McDonald's. If you thought IHOP had a ton to do, McDonald's takes that and doubles it and then triples it. It is like the amount of stuff you gotta do in this map is kind of absurd. First of all, we gotta grab a radio from the spawn, and then we need a shit ton of points to get the power. But once we're in power, we can go ahead and turn it on and also disable one of 2 security systems. We can then disable the second security system, and this will allow us to actually get out of McDonald's. And also, we gotta get fire staff pieces, so to do that, we need to throw grenades at rocks. Next up, we can open the jump pad and make our way to Burger King. So this map is essentially Revelations, but for fast food. After making our way through Burger King, we take a boat. Now this boat takes us all the way to Pizza Hut. Now we're able to knock on this door here, and we can actually talk with the bomb dealer, which I've bought a decent amount of bombs from Pizza Huts. This guy kind of rips you off, $1,500. But we bought the 3 bombs that we needed, and then we also picked up a toolbox. Next, we went into the kitchen and blew up a door and got an ice staff part, and then we can go up to the roof where there's a lightning staff part and then a teleporter. This leads us to a whole teleporter room, but then we teleport to IHOP, and here we can find one of 3 gas cans, broke open our second fire staff part, and then we did a little bit of parkour to get a wind staff piece, and then there's also a teleporter up here as well. Next, making our way back to Burger King, we can cut open the gate using that toolbox we found. Then we can also grab our second gas can here and activate the third teleporter and cause a little bit more property damage using some bombs. Then we blew up the kitchen in McDonald's, and yeah, there's a dead guy in there, don't worry about it, it's just Timmy. And then now we can make our way onto the roof, activate the final teleporter, and grab our wind staff piece. Now we can enter into the play place. I don't really know how this is the play place, but this might be what they are now. I couldn't tell you. But at the end of the play place is where all of our like crystals to build the staffs are. Now we gotta actually build the staffs and upgrade them. So the first one we're doing here is the ice staff, and we gotta shoot 3 statues around the map. There was one outside the Pizza Hut, one outside the Burger King. We also gotta shoot some corpses with the ice staff, so I went ahead and started on that. In the middle of all this, grabbed our final fire staff piece and did a trick shot to hit the final statue. Then right inside of spawn, there was another corpse we had to shoot. And then our final one was inside of the IHOP kitchen. We can then place our staff in its holder and go grab another crystal. And then using all the gas cans we found, we can refuel the boat. This boat will take us all the way to KFC, where we can grab our final wind staff piece, and we can also hack the security. The wind staff upgrade is really easy. We just have to shoot 5 piles of dirt around the map, and then we can go ahead and place our wind staff in its holder. Next up, we're going to do the lightning staff, and we just got to shoot 3 little antennas around the map. Next, we got to override power on 3 different panels. Then we can go ahead and place it in its respective holder. Then the fire staff upgrade is really simple as well. We just got to shoot 4 little bonfire sticks around the map. Next up, we got to supercharge campfires. So the ones that had chairs in front of them were the ones we needed to shoot. And once that was done, we have all of our staffs upgraded. We just need to get souls to actually fully upgrade them. Next up, we had to talk to a crackhead in the alley, and he wants some head, an actual head. But then we throw that motherfucker on the grill. We got some seasoning, we threw some salt, some pepper, some paprika, some good stuff on there. Then we give the head to the crackhead, and he actually installed the battery that we need to progress. So we got to go all the way back to Minky D's. And once we're in McDonald's, we got to supercharge this teleporter crystal with the lightning staff, shoot this crystal with the fire staff, and this crystal with the ice staff. We can also upgrade our shield here, and then we can also go ahead and start this boss fight. You're never gonna guess who the boss is. It's a Travis Scott boss fight. It's lit. So this boss fight is actually really simple. The first phase is just surviving, and then a rocket launcher will appear on the ground. Once this rocket launcher appears on the ground, we shoot it and it takes away his health, and we just do this 3 times. And once that first phase is over, he's then going to spawn in with a bubble, and a bunch of lean bottles are going to start filling up the boss arena. So we just got to destroy his bubble first, which actually has a good chunk of health. And I also didn't bring the best guns for this. But after destroying that bubble, Travis Scott fucking dies. That's a crazy sentence to say. But after he's dead, we can actually pick up his shoes, which give us a speed increase, which is actually really nice with how big this map is. Next up, we can head into the control room and disable the shield. Next, we can send a signal from the Pizza Hut roof, and then we can head all the way down to the end of this tunnel where the door will finally open. And using our KFC recipe that we got 2 maps ago, we can actually send it up the tube, and it'll give us a new weapon. Ooh. And we get the killer of fucking clowns. Could have used this shit in 2016. Next, we got to shoot each of the crystals with each of the staffs to power on the portal. Next, we can go into the boss fight. And this boss fight, I'm not gonna lie, is just kind of insane. But it was fun. I really enjoyed it. So the first part of this boss fight is essentially what we just did in the Travis Scott one. You gotta stay away from the red dots on the ground, and we basically just have to survive for this portion. Now the second phase gets a little bit harder. A bunch of fire starts pouring in from the sky, from the ground, from everywhere. The crazy place walls come down and block your path, and the red dots on the ground still show up. And then there's also bombs that drop from the sky. And then after this, we're teleported to phase 3 of the boss fight, and I think this is inside the map maker's head. This is probably what it looks like, I'm gonna be honest. Now this one is also another kind of timer based one. We just have to survive until the crystals become available to break, and there's 4 crystals that we gotta destroy. Now we are on to the final phase of the boss fight, where we gotta kill Ronald McDonald. Once again, a sentence I thought I would honestly never ever say. But it took me a while to figure out that I actually had to start shooting Ronald. So using the monkey bombs we picked up, we're gonna throw those on the ground, and this striker that I picked up is actually really good, even at like range. Unlike the Ronald killer gun, which is just not good at all against Ronald. I mean, just watch how fast his health just gets obliterated here. It is kind of crazy. But after this, we are teleported to a bar, which means we got the good ending. So we beat Ronald, and we saved the universe. I think this is a better storyline than Ether, to be 100% honest. But yeah, this was a ton of fun to do. I love playing customs. And if you guys want to see me do more of like these custom Easter egg videos, let me know in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace. With a blunt, Juliet with a bottle, live like Jackie.